What's up guys, Red Bandit here talking about some Cyberpunk 2077. So in today's short video I'm going to be discussing some of the few things that CD Projekt Red recently discussed with a Polish gaming website. And in this interview they actually detailed some really cool things that I wanted to share with you guys. Also, a large portion of you guys watching won't be subscribed for Cyberpunk just yet, and I'm starting to make more videos on the game and definitely when it comes out. So if you guys are interested in seeing tips and tricks or Easter eggs, so on and so forth, non-spoiler based stuff, then make sure you guys subscribe. Alright, today we have some really cool info, even some details on New Game Plus. Yes, so if any of you don't know what New Game Plus is, it's basically when you complete a game and play through it the second time or third time or fourth time, however many times you play through it, after the initial time that you've completed the game, it will actually offer you new content and more awesome stuff to go through the game the next time you play through it. And yes, the developers at CD Projekt Red have detailed some information about this for Cyberpunk as well. I'll have the timestamps down in the description if you want to just skip ahead to the bits that you're interested in, but today's video is not going to be very long anyway. So first and foremost, thanks to this developer interview, it seems as though CD Projekt Red will continue to add and implement new cyberware into the game as the time progresses. It's actually unclear at the moment whether this content will be paid DLC or whether it will just come out free with regular updates, but it was clear in the interview that they said that the character creator has been executed in a way that's really easy for them to implement new cyberware and equipment into the game very comfortably. They also said that they're open to the idea of adding more content and cyberware as time continues, which is really cool. I'm really excited to see how this plays out. Now, I've seen a lot of the gameplay of adding and implementing cyberware to your character, and it does look really easy. The user interface is really simple, and that's something I'm really excited about for Cyberpunk 2077, is to see how they continue to implement new stuff into the game, and also the fact that the user interface is very easy to use. I tried to play a game the other day that is completely unrelated to this, but DayZ, the standalone edition on the consoles and PC. You know, it's one of those games where the user interface is really clunky and so on, so it's really nice to see that Cyberpunk is making the user interface really easy for beginners. It literally looks like the system is going to work as a drag and drop kind of system. You know, you find a new piece of cyberware, you just click it and install it into the part of your body that is required. It looks really straightforward and easy. So it sounds like CD Projekt Red will be working hard to make this simple and also implement new stuff as time progresses. Next up in the video, life paths and special dialogue choices have somewhat under the carpet effects and influence on your relationships with characters in the game, and can also block your ability to progress in the romance section with certain characters as well. It sounds like our relationships with certain characters and even romance section in the game will actually be affected by things that we do and the choices that we make. It wasn't really clear earlier on in the development how much of an effect this would have, but it definitely seems like some of the decisions we've got to make in the game we have to think really carefully about, because it might actually affect how our progression is with other characters. So, there will be a New Game Plus shortly after the release, but of course with what's nearly a 180-hour gameplay estimate, I don't think we are going to really be asking for this New Game Plus anytime soon. Some good games that actually offer some replayability through New Game Plus are things like Batman Arkham Knight and the Yakuza titles, so they've taken advantage of this in the past and it actually works really well. Now remember, this feature is not going to be in Cyberpunk 2077 upon release, but they have been talking about it quite actively. Shortly after the release implies to me that it's probably going to be a feature that's added alongside the graphical next-gen enhancements that are coming very soon. Whenever that might be, I mean, soon with CD Projekt Red has in the past been a very long waiting time, but it looks like when they release the enhanced graphics for the next-gen consoles, we can probably expect to see New Game Plus features being added then, most likely. Now, our final interesting takeaway from the interview was the emphasis on the ability that there's going to be a huge amount of Easter eggs in the game. But not only that, they also mentioned very briefly that at the moment they have no intent on making players able to fly or pilot flying vehicles and flying cars, but they did put emphasis on the just yet part. So it does look like maybe in the future we may have the ability to drive and pilot some of these flying cars that we've seen, but remember, upon release these are not going to be controllable. So it sounds like CD Projekt Red have a lot of ambitious ideas that they do want to implement into the game, but at the moment a lot of these features are things that they're planning on releasing after the game has actually released on December the 10th. My guess is that a lot of these features that they say are coming are probably going to be here around the same time they release the update for the next gen consoles that improves the graphics. Now we have no word on that just yet, but it's most likely going to be in the hopefully early half of 2021. But of course I'll have to just keep you guys posted on that. So those were some details that were read about and spoken about in that interview. If you guys have any additional information or any comments on today's video, let me know. And if you guys want to see some Cyberpunk gameplay when it comes out, then make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Adios.